and one for the intelligent as fellas get. Listen, let's settle this. Be clear, I can fall back 7 years, still it ain't no one ahead of me. Consider it a blessing if you get to stand next to me. 5-star general, OG veteran, cake like.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to BOS3 Raw TV. So I made a video about maybe 2 weeks ago talking about 2016 goals and goal setting, and it didn't dawn on me that there might be a lot of people out there that didn't know how to set a goal or define a goal, or they wouldn't know how to go about doing that as setting a goal. And judging by the hundreds of emails, and I know there's hundreds of emails because I actually, as I was going through them, I was putting them in a folder, filtering them, and the folder tells you how many emails you have from that type of email. A lot of people don't know how. So I'm going to give you some tools today that I'll call, like, I guess the rules, the Jerry rules, the Jer rules. These are the Jer rules, like the jewels, the Jer rules of how to set a goal and accomplish it. Now, I wrote them down because I'm fucking retarded and I want to make sure I say them right and clearly. Number one, the first thing you do towards setting a goal is to define your goal. What is your goal? Well, I want to be huge. Okay, that's a goal, but it's not really defining your goal. What do you consider huge? I thought, huge, it was like a state of mind. Then I was like 300 pounds. That is huge to me. That is my goal. So 300 pounds became my goal. Now, before I set that 300 pounds, I'd say I just want to get, bigger. I want to be jacked. Well, by the time I got to 170 pounds, I didn't feel right. 200 pounds still wasn't jacked. 230 wasn't big enough. 245 wasn't big enough. There was no defined goal. If I had said maybe 245 was my goal, that's jacked, that's huge, and I hit it, it would have defined that goal, it would have accomplished that goal, maybe set a new goal. Devise a plan. Here's where a lot of people fail. Now, my plan was to basically eat my way up to that size, eat and train my way up to that size. If I didn't get to that size, I would go on steroids. Like, I had a plan set in place of how I was going to do that, and every day I'd get up, and there was like a little, not a checklist, but in my head there was like a checklist that I would go off of, and I would accomplish each goal. I'd get up, have my first meal. I'd have my second meal. I do my fucking, whatever, chores around the house or whatever, because I was young as a kid. I would go train. I would have my second meal. I would make sure I cooked my food. I had like a plan checked off every day in my head of things I had to do to accomplish that goal of being 300 pounds. That was my plan. Give a time frame to hit the goal. Now, that's number 3. Now, there was really no time frame. I was expecting, honestly, like within a month. I don't know what the fuck I was expecting because I didn't really have any actual, reality, realistic, views of how to reach 300 pounds because I'd never done it before. But I gave myself 2 years. Eventually I said, if I can't hit 300 pounds in 2 years, I'm going to stop chasing that 300 pounds. Now, that didn't happen. I still chased it anyways, and if I didn't get to 300 pounds, I still feel like I failed at hitting my goal. But when you look back, you realize, shit, I hit 273. That's fucking really big for my height. Had I not had that 300 pound goal and chased that, I never would hit the 273. You realize some of the other things you've accomplished, but you have to have a time frame that if it doesn't fucking happen you need to scrap it and fucking move on to something else. You can't spend your whole life trying to accomplish a goal that you're not going to accomplish. 4, begin one day fully towards the goal, which is what I was just talking about, where I would get up in the morning and I'd have a list of things I do for the day. My first meal, my second meal, train, do the things. Today was a recovery day, shopping, food shopping on this day. Every day, one day at a time towards your goal. Now, it may seem, comes Brady, it may seem overwhelming to try to hit 300 pounds when you weigh 150 pounds, because you're trying to gain 150 pounds. But if you're breaking it down to one day at a time, you drinking your water, buddy? Yeah, you don't give a fuck. He's like, fuck your video, Dad, I'm drinking my water. Now, rule number 5, Jerry rule number 5. Repeat day 1 for 7 days total. So for 1 week, go through the same things that you do day in, day out, that's on your plan towards reaching your goal. 1 week, one solid week. Rule number 6, after a week, reassess. See if there are things that need to be changed in order to get you to your goal faster or to make sure that you're going towards that goal. If you're not going towards that goal, you need to change some stuff. Like if you get up in the morning and you miss meal 1 for 3 days, then guess what? You need to reassess and figure out why you're missing meal 1. Well, I got to cook eggs, I got to do this. Well, maybe it's time to add a shake and some oatmeal instead because it's easier. Like reassess and figure out what you're missing to get towards that goal. Rule number 7. Make changes as necessary if needed. Now, those are the 7 rules that I personally have used for the last, 20 years or so towards accomplishing goals, not just this isn't just for bodybuilding, this is for life in general. Let's say it was, you were you wanting to be the CEO of the job you're at now and you're starting in the fucking mailroom. Same thing, define your goal. I want to be the CEO. What steps do you do to take it there? What steps do you do daily to take it there, et cetera, et cetera. And one day at a time, take it towards that goal. Let's say it's, I want to have kids. You know, you and your wife, you and your girl, you and your husband, whatever, want to have kids. Okay, what are we going to do? So basically, I need to be a little financially secure before this happens. So I need to do this before this happens. Once we have the kids, I want to make sure that they're raised religiously like this, morally like that. There's a plan in place on how to do it. You know, I mean, back in the day, a lot of people just flew by the fucking seat of their pants. And I mean, it worked out for some people, it didn't work out for others. But it's more likely that you'll succeed at your goal if you have a plan. And I think a lot of people fail to plan in the first place because they just, you know, they just don't think it's that big of a deal. And I myself spun my wheels for years and years and years until I started saying, let me make a plan. And it actually took me writing shit down in a fucking notebook, making a plan, and then sticking to that plan after I wrote it down, like forcing myself to go back to that plan, having it set in stone in a fucking piece of paper so that I can go back and, you know, say, okay, what did I do wrong today? I need to do this. What did I do wrong on fucking Thursday? I need to do that. And eventually it's like building a brick house or a brick wall. You put one brick, one brick, one brick, one brick. Each one of those bricks is a day. Each one of those bricks is a thing that you do to build that whole wall. And when you're finished, you've built a wall. The wall doesn't get built in a day unless you're a fucking crazy worker. But the bottom line is, you will get to your goal if you plan and then meticulously put these things into play and not just fucking throw shit at the wall and hope that it sticks. You know, you have to fucking make sure that you crazy glue that shit first before you fucking throw it to make sure that it sticks. BioS3Training@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.bios3training.com is the blog. It's the planned out bicep, and we're out.